Oh, there we go. Sorry, guys. No.
Well, Jerry is a leader to us. He orchestrated things well. I mean, he kind of put a plan together, you know, for USAB that we had to go out there and work, but he put the plan together.
Right. Along with what D said, he wasn't only a leader, he was someone that we respected, someone that we know when he came and talked to us that we can trust him. And that's what you're always looking for in a leader, is that they're going to give it to you straight. He always looks you in his eye, and if he says something, you know that it's either going to get done or he's working hard to make sure it happens. And that's why we have the utmost respect for Mr. Colangelo.
So before I get started, I kind of want to talk to you guys about what I find in business leaders. You know, it's funny, the majority of business leaders that I have worked with have a fascination and a curiosity about top-level sports and how sports kind of interacts with leadership. And some of them secretly dreamed of being these star athletes themselves. But whenever they find out about my involvement in this magical world of such people, they beseech me with questions like, how do their heroes cope with sometimes this over-intrusive interest in their professional and private lives? What are those people like? How do they motivate themselves to endure the intensity of training and practice they subject themselves to day in and day out? And why does the U.S. Ryder Cup golf team, with the best players in the world, so often struggle to overcome Europe's team? Business people are fascinated with elite sports, that companies pay this vast fee to listen to inspirational talks by sporting legends. But what do they learn from them? Do their stories provide anything more than just an opportunity to rub shoulders with some of these names so they can impress their friends? How can listening to such stars change what executives do when they return to their desks? And some executives are skeptical that they can't do anything at all. They see their world too different from the one such as obvious and extreme motivator as Olympic medals and world champions. Elite sports is really a powerful metaphor for business. And there are some striking parallels. Fierce competition, winning by sometimes even the smallest margins, achieving goals and targets, establishing long-term and short-term strategies and tactics, hard work, perseverance, determination, teamwork, dealing with successes, and recovering from failures and setbacks. Those are all key challenges in both worlds. Success in sports and business alike relies on the ability to continually move performance to a higher level. What you achieve this year, and this happens for all of us, will never be as good as next year. Goals and standards move onward and upward, creating an unrelenting demand to find new means and methods to ensure the delivery of performance curves that can seem impossible and even out of reach. I've spent really most of my career researching and understanding the world's best athletes. I've been applying the lessons myself that I've learned from athletes with leaders at some of the world's largest companies. The first crucial lesson is that elite athletes are not born, but made. Obviously, there has to be some inborn natural abilities, whether it's coordination, flexibility, a philosophical capacity. Just as successful leaders need to be able to both strategize and relate to people. But the real key to a sustaining excellence for both elite sports and business leaders is not the ability to swim fast or to do quantitative analysis quickly in their heads. Rather, it's the development of mental toughness, the ability to thrive under almost the inhumane pressure is perhaps the most defining characteristics of elite athletes. They excel when the heat is turned up. They have the ability to stay focused on things that really matter in the face of a multitude of potential distractions. Ask Kobe. They are able to bounce back from setbacks with a determination an intense desire to succeed. And most crucially, they are able to maintain their belief in themselves in the most trying circumstances. What lessons can they bring to the most senior leaders of any organization, students, anyone? For that, the very best athletes making it to the top is a result of very careful planning, setting and hitting hundreds of small goals. And if it's hard reaching the top, that's nothing compared to what it really takes to stay there, even in your career. Expectations are always enormous, and you become the target and benchmark for every other competitor. And that's really how it is in the real world when looking for a job. You have reached incredible heights, and you have become highly visible and exposed when you're a leader. It's really a marvelous place to be, but it also comes with great potential of vulnerability and loneliness if things go wrong. Sustained success in an environment requires astounding physical ability, but that isn't enough to make you better than the rest. You need an extraordinary mindset. Ask LeBron. The positive and resilient mindsets of the best athlete underpins their drive and ability to reinvent themselves continuously in order to stay ahead of the pack. Does that sound familiar in your world when you're in class, all the classes that you're taking? Finally, especially important in today's roller coaster business world, these elite athletes take time to celebrate their victories. It helps remind them of why the hard work and commitment is worthwhile. At a time when survival and trying to make sure that you get a job and you become successful is a priority for so many people, you really have to take the time to celebrate even your small successes, however small they may be. My work with senior leaders and their teams over the last 15 years have focused on applying and adapting these lessons around the world. And of course, there are some differences between sports and business, but there are way too many similarities and parallels for you to ignore. Perceiving them can help you drive you and your organization and your goals to achieve successes that some people only dream about. So tonight what I want to do is share with you the 10 important skills that you should possess in order to be a great leader. The first one is to be optimistic. After losing a big game or losing an account, it's easy to be really hard on yourself and others. But by being pessimistic, you aren't helping anyone, and you may be really bringing the whole team down. Keep high spirits and share your optimism with the whole team. It will motivate others to keep positive also. The second is offer to help your teammates. If you notice a fellow teammate is struggling at some position or skill, don't discourage or belittle them. Really offer to help them. Spend a little time to help your peers. You will show just how much you care about the team, and you will motivate others. Show your dedication. Effective leaders show their dedication in a number of ways. And as an athlete, you go to practice early, you stay to improve on your skills and help others. You push yourself. Like you guys push yourself every day, 110%. You ask your coaches or leaders for constructive criticism on what you can do outside of practice. Doing things will improve your dedication and will also rub off on others. Take responsibility for your actions. What I've learned is no one's perfect. We all have our bad days and we all make mistakes. And when you make a mistake, whether it's in school or work, a game, at home, just take responsibility for it. Then express how you plan to avoid the mistake again, whether by practicing more or concentrating more at that skill or that position. Your peers and your leaders will admire you and honestly be very excited to see your dedication. Number 5, make the team your priority. It's easy to get caught up in trying to be the best player, to be the best person.